Sir Robert Anderson was a second Assistant Commissioner of Crime of the London Metropolitan Police from 1888 to 1901. He was also an intelligence officer, philosopher and writer. He was born in Dublin, Ireland. His father was Matthew Anderson, was a Crown Solicitor. His elder brother, Samuel Lee Anderson, was a successful barrister who also acted for the Crown. Like his brother, he was also an intelligence officer. Their sister Annie married Sir Walter Boyd, 1st Baronet, who was a dignified figure in the Irish community in the late 19th century and early 20th century over British rule in Ireland. Anderson began to practice as a barrister. However, in 1865, his father showed him papers relating to trials of FENIANS and to become involved in the operation against him, becoming the foremost expert on the operation against him. In 1868, he was called to London following the murders of a policeman in Manchester in 1867 and the bombings of the Clerkenwell in another rescue attempt 3 months later. See the Clerkenwell outrage for more details. In April 1868, he attended the Home Office as advised to political crime. By 1887, Anderson was on the rise up after a few disasters earlier in his career with his previous operation. He was asked by Scotland Yard into operations relating to political crime. In 1888, Monro resigned, although he became commissioner later that year. Anderson replaced him as assistant commissioner. The post was to be held for the rest of his career. Anderson retired in 1901 and was appointed Knight Commander of the Order of Bath and in the King's Birthday Honours List in 1901, having been appointed Companion of the Order of the Bath in 1897. The Jack the Ripper investigation. The Criminal Investigative Department, or CID, was then just starting to investigate its investigation into the Jack the Ripper murders, which although he thought grossly oversensitized. Almost immediately after being promoted, Anderson went on vacation in Switzerland on doctor's orders, leaving the Metropolitan Police leaderless during the biggest challenge of its history. He was called back after a month because of the increase in bad publicity over the Ripper murders, after which he later wrote, "When I stood in England, I've never been so scared. They take leave of moderation and some make sense." And that he did not lead the Metropolitan Police to capture the killer. Of course, he retired in 1901, and that he had 5 children with his wife, Lady Angus Alexandrina Moore, who he is buried with. In 1918, Anderson died from the Spanish flu, aged 77, and is buried right here in Kensel Green, and you will see his grave, or I should say their grave, in due course. So follow the directions of where I am showing you to find this grave. Thank you very much. Here you go, guys. Here you go, guys. I'm so sorry I haven't chatted and that, although I imagine I've probably put a voiceover at the beginning of this to give you all the relevant information. No, I most likely have cut a lot of this out, but all I'm going to say is I went in the completely opposite direction. I basically went like all the way up there and then came back to find this grave. Yes. Talk about this was... I thought this might be a bit tricky, but this cemetery is a bit like this. As you know, I've been to this cemetery 2 or 3 times now. So yeah, so as you can see, this is the final resting place of Sir Robert Anderson, the inspector that was in charge of the Jack the Ripper case. As you can see from the age of it, it's not the best to read, but I can make out the honourable memory of Sir Robert Anderson, KOB, born May 29th 1841, called home November 15th 1918. Father, I will be there for whom thou last given me be, and who I am. And also his wife, the lady Angus Alexandra Anderson, wife of the above, born January the 19th 1848, called home November 7th 1925. Oh God, is that a relief, guys? That literally was quite tricky to find. As I said, I went halfway up there. So thank you very much, guys. And another Jack the Ripper connection video from me, Sharona, and Kensel Green. Thank you very much. Bye bye.